Ryan, have you ever thought about being an architect?
Have you ever thought about being a truck driver?
Have you ever thought about being a salesperson?
What about something in the medical field?
Realtor? Listen to Career Paths every Thursday
Wherever you listen to podcasts,
and on YouTube. You might learn something.
you might not.
It's your life. Make it happen.
Memories fading, we all forget those not so shiny things you do.
Career Paths. Nice, I'm scared.
Yeah.
Welcome to Career Paths by InfoNet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau. With me, always, the infamous troublemaker, Brian King. Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
Hey.
What's up?
Nothing.
Nothing. Our guest today is Mr. BJ Bell. Hey, BJ, what's up, man?
What's going on, guys?
Been a while. I get to see your smiling face. We've talked. We've texted over the years. It's been a while. How many years has it been since you were in Spokane?
Ooh, I want to say, has it been 3 years now?
Yeah, it's got to be at least. Yes. Yeah,
Gotta be 3 years now.
Yeah. So how's life going? What's new? What's exciting? And you're keeping busy these days?
Yeah, no, I stay busy with work. I do new home development. So I work for, Richmond American Homes. So I've been building just houses and,
Is the
a
market
lot of
crazy?
track homes.
Is the market crazy where you're at? Because it's crazy.
Yeah. So
up
actually, I
here.
just sold my house.
Wow.
Yeah, I just sold my house and it's pretty crazy. And Vegas is booming. More and more people are buying out here. And it's crazy to see how much everything has risen.
Oh,
And there's no houses out there for people. And we build them and they're sold like this.
oh yeah. The same
Yeah.
thing up here in the Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, Coeur d'Alene area. Sandpoint, it's the same thing up here. We'll back up. Give us a little background on yourself. You're married.
Yes, I am married.
No children yet.
No children yet. None
Yeah.
at all. I'm from Orange County, California. I went to school here in Vegas, so I ended up coming back to my roots. Went and played football at UNLV, and then I also I came out to Spokane and played with my brother a little bit.
Yep.
And then I played in Germany, Finland.
Yes.
And
Touch on that.
yeah, I was playing out in Europe and then came back and I played for LA Kiss. that
Yes.
was a wild ride.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Well, that's right. That's right. I know
Yeah.
you and your brother both did.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah. And now I got into home building once I was done with football back in 2015.
Yeah.
And
Here you are.
since then, now I coach high school football too.
So you get to mentor and give it your experience and you have plenty of life experience to go along with the not just on-field experience.
Yeah, life experience, and I get to share all my knowledge of football with these young kids growing up these days.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you become interested in getting into building? I mean,
So
we'll
it's
the
actually
football part later, but
yeah, it's actually pretty funny. My wife, she's an escrow officer. So she's been in the new home development and she's in the home building. Like she works with realtors as well as new home developers. And then I got done playing football. When I was done playing football with my career, her boss was like, "Hey, have you ever thought about construction and new home development?" And I've always worked construction. Like I worked underground construction part-time when I was in between football and stuff, just to make some money.
Yep.
And I said, I don't really know anything about home building, but he's like, let's give it a shot. Come on out. We'll give you a shot. And haven't looked back since then. It, just stuck.
so did someone inspire you or guide you
The
through
gentleman you were just talking about.
getting
right?
into the whole home building?
Ryan, it's funny that you say that. So when I used to do underground, when I was back younger, one of my best friends who I played football with and we grew up together, his dad ran his own company and we used to do the underground for the sewer lines, the water lines, putting in fire hydrants and stuff like that.
Yes.
For these new home developments before they build on them. So it was just open land and we put the sewer systems on. And I talked to him about it, and he was like, you know what? He's like, give it a shot. He's like, you might even like it. He's like, it's less labor for you, less labor intensive. All I do is pointing fingers and telling people what to do. But but yeah, he was telling me it's less labor intensive, and so I went for it. You know, I just wanted to try it out, and it seemed pretty cool.
So what were some of the steps that you took to get into it and then to move forward with that career?
So this first step I took, because I didn't know anything, I started out as labor. And I thought, man, going back into labor, I'm gonna have to pick things up, carry things around. But most of the time I was shadowing the assistant superintendents and the superintendents. And so I was learning what they were doing, seeing how, you know, what to look for in houses. Like, is the windows, are those squared? You know, are the baseboard bows out? I also moved, like, you know, brought sinks in for like the plumbers when they're setting up sinks. You know, made sure to learn to read maps, or not maps, plot plans and plans. And they were teaching me like, hey, like, this is something that you want to look for. Hey, this is something that's not supposed to look right. And you know, they're just training me for the eye of building when you're building new homes. And you know, it took a long time for me to get the eye, but now I feel like I got the eye. I got part of the eye, but there's still stuff I need to learn, but
Sure, we all do.
I have a better idea of what's going on.
Right.
And that was what I started out doing.
So
And just learning how to manage a group of people. Like, I have to get probably 60 different trades and get everyone to work together
mhm.
and figure out the same plan, how to, you know, hey, this is the house, this is what we're building, and how to get them to all work together. Because sometimes the trim guys who are doing like the door frames, they don't like working with the flooring guys.
Right.
And
Yep.
the flooring guys don't like working with the cabinet guys. And they're like, we were in here first. And, you know, it's your glorified babysitter.
And the electricians don't like working with anyone.
Anybody. Yep. Electricians hate everybody.
Ryan's dealt with this stuff, so
Yeah.
Across the board, I think.
Yeah, I know.
No matter what state you're in, electricians hate everyone.
They don't want to deal with anybody. They're like, hey, we're doing our own thing. And
Okay.
they go and put holes in everybody's houses.
did you
They're
have
like, they get fixed.
any formal training on this, or you just by being on the job training on it? And did you have any
I started
options?
out on the job training.
Yeah.
Nothing really formal until, you know, I had to get OSHA certified. And that's when I felt like I learned more with OSHA,
Hmm.
you know, for safety and what to look for, and, you know, figure out who's being safe and who's not being safe. So I feel like that's where most of my training came from.
How long were you into doing what you're doing till you did that training? Like,
So I had to get my OSHA like 10 hours first. So it usually goes with OSHA 10 hours first. When you first work in any construction out in California,
Hmm.
you have to get an OSHA 10. And that's 10 hours of training,
okay,
just telling you about stuff. But
right.
and then when I moved out of Orange County and I became like a assistant superintendent, you had to get your OSHA 30. And you had to do 30 hours worth of like sitting in a classroom
Right.
and learning everything, and learning from them and people who done my job before me.
Yes.
That's pretty much my training. From what I
Right.
learned from my
So
buddy.
what would you say some of the worst part of that OSHA training, 10, 30, and what was the best part of that? And what advice would you give to anybody that's looking to do that stuff?
I tell everyone, get your OSHA training 100%. To get a 30, it's easier than doing a 10, because when you do a 10, you got to get a 30. Just go for the 30 straight out, because you cut everything from behind, and that way you don't have to like take one step and then the next one. But what I'll tell anybody doing it, you guys, be sure to pay attention. It's a lot of information. I know it can be boring sometimes because you're sitting in a class for 8 hours or sitting on a computer for 8 hours, but pay attention. You know, you'll end up saving someone's life before you even know it. You know, it's very important, and soak it in as much as you can with like a sponge.
Right.
So what are some of the things they teach you in that type of class?
So in those classes, they teach you safety, mainly is safety, but like fall resistance, like for out here, if anybody is above 6 feet and they have to be strapped in. So they have to have a harness on and they have to have their harness strapped in on like a roof or something that is about, I want to say another 3 feet higher than them.
Okay.
So if you do fall, it'll catch you. Also, you know, ladder safety, electrical safety, you know, when people, you know, when some electricians, some of those guys who are doing flooring, they'll they'll plug into a 2-prong without the ground wire sticking out, and you know that's not safe. But yeah, electricity safety, just overall like health. A big thing is out here in Nevada is heat.
Mm,
So you got to watch for heat, like people having heat strokes.
Yep.
You know, you got to make sure you have water stations on your job, or if they don't have water stations on their job, make sure their bosses, whoever the trades are, their bosses are putting a water station. And we have to make sure people stay hydrated because I've seen a lot of people fall out. You know, it gets 114 out here and you're in a house what's insulated but no AC.
Yeah.
that house is even getting hotter.
So after process, but you're already working. So it really was a process going from the school training because you're already on it, but you attended that, then you progressed, correct?
Yeah, I progressed and then everything's just hands-on. Yeah.
So what's a typical day like, your task hours?
For a
All that type of thing.
superintendent, right? Superintendent.
Yeah. So usually for a
Honestly, to
superintendent,
3 hours and then you disappear, go home, and
I wish.
that's what everyone's saying.
Usually you'd wake up in the morning, get on the job site from like 6 or 6:30. You'll walk all your houses, make sure all your homes, you open them all up to make sure everyone can get inside to get those ready. As walking through those houses, you want to make sure you walk through each house, make a list of all your information that you need. So like say electrician was supposed to be in there and they're supposed to put up all the like outlets and switches and they didn't do it the day before. You want to get on the phone and be like, hey, where you guys at? You're supposed to be here. Making sure everyone is on your schedule.
Right.
You want to call everyone and follow up with everyone on your schedule. So you go through each houses. Most of the time, you're holding about from 20 to 30 houses on your own, making sure from the ground up, from you know, foundation all the way up to the finishing and all the little small details of, you know, the drywall needs to be straight. You know, you got, you know, the outlets are crooked, even like small, minute details. You know, you want to follow up with everybody and just make sure everyone's there and getting the job done correctly. So you'll go from 6. I usually finish around 4:35 and then go home.
So are you also like the final inspector at the end of each house? Or
So
do you have
usually
someone else that goes through.
final product, I have to look it over, but you do have the city inspector that usually comes in, and the city
Right.
inspector comes in and he'll make sure, you know, everything's working correctly. You know, your lights are working, your fart fans in the bathroom, those are running. You know, fart fans are a little fun thing we like to say. Yeah. As well as, you know, plumbing's working. They want to inspect everything to make sure before they give you a final building final. They want to make sure all that is looking great and, you know, you present. And then number one thing is cleanliness. You
Oh,
want to
yeah.
make sure your home's clean. So when you present it to the homeowner, they're excited and they're happy to be there.
Right.
And what's your biggest dislike about your day and your biggest like?
Dealing with all the trades. Like I said, you're a glorified babysitter, trying to get everyone to work together. I hate it. Like I want it to happen. I wish everyone would just shut up and work together. But
Why would we need you then?
I know, right? But everyone, it's like you're dealing with all the kids on the playground. And you're like, hey, we're all going to be doing this together. Let's get it done. And then you got like the other kids are like, nah, I don't want to work with him. I don't want to work with him. You guys are adults. Figure it out. You don't need me. And another thing I really hate is parking control. So like most people park out in front of the houses and like because they're working on those houses, and then all of a sudden you got cement truck or someone, they're like, hey, tell that truck to move or tell this person to move. And then they're like, I got to track the person down just to tell them, hey, can you move your truck?
Right.
Like, you can do this yourself and just ask, but
Yeah.
but
With the trade that I did with new homes, I worked for a buddy doing landscape sprinkler stuff. So I'm aware of all of this. I've not
Oh,
only
yeah.
applied, but installed. So yeah, good times.
yeah, no, but I'll tell you this, the best thing I love about my job is seeing homeowners being excited to get their new home. When you go in, there's usually, no house is perfect. No house is ever perfect, and it's the most realistic thing. But going in and from them seeing it, from it just being a dirt patch on the ground to
Yep.
what is right there, that's probably the most fulfilling thing, because people are excited and knowing like, hey, I was able to bring this happiness and make a home for these people.
Yeah.
And now they got a home to live in.
Do you have to, are you the contact point after the fact if there's an issue that,
I am. So with customer service, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And being a point of customer service, usually there's a customer service team, but everyone always has my phone number. Everyone has everything.
yeah,
Main thing about customer service, we want to take care of the homeowner. We want to figure out what's going on, make sure it falls under warranty, or and get the job done. Just
Yep.
get the job done. Yeah.
I just wonder if you're the contact point. Now, obviously he is.
Yeah, but most people aren't. Most people in my job, like when I'm a super, they're not. But most of the time, you have a customer service team, and the customer service team takes care of it.
Right.
So what would you say the biggest misconception the general public has about you in your position, and how do you think you could change it?
Ooh, that's a good question.
You're welcome.
That's a great question. Biggest misconception.
Yeah.
Good job. You just came up with that off the cuff.
That's a good question. That I physically built the house, but I was managing it.
Right.
But
I know that. You don't know how to build a house.
no, people think that the way their house looks in the beginning, that it's not going to always look like that. That's the biggest misconception. People think, I bought a brand new home, all these things shouldn't be falling apart, or cracking, drywall shouldn't be cracking, things shouldn't be splitting around my window frame, it shouldn't be splitting, my floor grout shouldn't be splitting. But when it really comes down to it, you got to think of a brand new home is a living, breathing entity. For the next 5 years, everyone's used to living in a home that is gone through its cycles. It goes through the cycles. It expands and contracts, and the wood's trying to get settled, and it's going through a season, as well as the cabinets.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't realize your home has to do that for the next 5 years before you don't have to worry about anything cracking or anything falling apart or anything like that.
That's the
You grew up in your parents' home and you lived in this house, and this house was like, it was a perfect little home, and it was great, and nothing was falling apart, and nothing, now and then, no normal homeowner maintenance, but nothing was falling apart. A lot of people don't realize the first couple of years, you're making sure your home, whatever falls apart, that thing's going to get fixed, and you got to take care of it and maintain it.
Right.
That's the big misconception people get. They think this home came out like this, it should stay like this, it should be perfect. But no, there's nothing perfect in life. In all honesty, there's nothing.
Right. Oh, I know. Yeah.
I know in our master bathroom,
You ever know
Yeah.
how old is the house you live
our
in?
house is, I think, 6 years old.
Uh-huh.
And it's still, the master bathroom, one of the walls is an outside wall. Well,
Mhm.
once a year, because of the temperature change,
Yep.
we have one of the shower rods that's just pressure, it falls down
Yeah.
because the wall was contracted enough that it gave it
Mhm.
enough slack, shower rod falls down. So
Yeah.
once a year, I gotta reattach it.
You gotta spread it out a little wider, right?
Yeah.
But that's normal. That's all normal stuff. And people don't realize, they're like, this shouldn't be happening. But yes, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like it's inevitable.
So how do you educate educate new homeowners in that situation?
So usually you would walk a house and do a new home orientation. Usually it's a lot of we give you a lot of information, like
I'm
with
sure.
paperwork, and
Oh, yeah.
to tell you what you're gonna expect. Like, for instance, out here in Nevada, we have alkaline in our water. Like it's alkaline as well as some other stuff, and it eats block walls, like concrete block walls. It eats it like after 10 years, it'll eat it all the
Wow.
way down, and like these things are ready to crumble.
Wow. Okay.
And trying to tell people like, hey, this is what's going to happen because the alkaline in the soil, the alkaline in the water,
Yeah.
everything happening, and it's all getting right here. It's going to corrode your wall, and your wall's going to start falling apart. And people think, and like even on the side of the house, like you'll get out here, if you get pavers, a lot of people in Nevada do pavers.
Mhm.
You'll see all the white. It looks like white, like someone threw a flour all over the concrete and all over the floor.
Really?
That's just the alkaline and the calcium in the water and all this stuff.
Right.
And it's
Huh.
harsh water out here.
Obviously. Huh.
The houses you guys build, are they block houses or are they stick framed or?
It's about stick frame. They're stick frame mostly.
Okay.
Foundation and then frame up, and
Yeah.
then drywall and everything, all the fun stuff. But we use a lot of stucco out here in Nevada. I know you guys use like siding and everything
Yeah.
in
Yeah, up here.
Washington.
Yep.
Yeah, most of your houses are siding. You get a little insulation, some siding, slap it on. It's all nice.
Yeah.
Are you jealous?
I am. It's a lot easier to deal with.
I
Yeah,
was
it
wondering-
is.
wondering why you mean so-
I'll tell you two
don't-
things I can guarantee you out here in Nevada. Concrete's gonna crack, and it will always crack. Your stucco's gonna crack, and your concrete's gonna crack
So why don't they change that?
because nothing else can handle the heat.
Oh, okay. The siding and stuff that,
Yeah, like if we put siding on it, some houses get siding,
oh,
but
yeah.
some of the siding falls off after a while because the
Okay.
sun will hit it and it'll
Yeah.
bake it after 3 years. It just
Okay. All right. Makes sense. Thank you. I didn't
no
know.
worries. It's okay. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. Educate the handicapped.
Just for you.
Don't need any
Specific.
specifics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But money, your income, benefits,
Benefits.
401k, healthcare.
Doing what you're doing? Is that
Yeah. So
building with the builder
Um,
you're with? Obviously, it's
with
working
new
for
home development, if you start out as an assistant, most of the time I'll tell you, like when I first started, because I worked in California, you're
Yeah.
looking at about 48 to 60 in California. And then when you're a superintendent, you're looking at 70 to 100 and something. It all varies depending on the company,
Sure.
but you do usually get good health care. You get 401k. You can set up for your retirement. Also, you get vision, dental. You get everything you need, as well as with my company. Great thing about it is they also give you like you can purchase like legal, and they always give you ADA, accidental death, and they always match your 401k. Most companies who do new home development, they match your 401k pretty good.
Nice.
3 or 4%.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice.
Yeah.
But you don't even have to go to college to be a superintendent. Most guys I know, make more money than me, and they're absolute badasses with building homes,
Right.
and they barely graduated high school.
Well,
but-
yeah, sometimes you don't need to. We discussed this on a regular occasion.
Yeah.
You don't have to be a college educated person to do certain careers or jobs. And
No.
Ryan and I are both not college educated, and yet we followed our careers and we're surviving.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I'll tell you this, nowadays, like my generation, because I'm like the millennial at the end. 34, I'm a millennial, but college degrees don't matter anymore. After me, like no one cares anymore. So it's like
I think it's still taught, but it's not as
It's changing.
it's changing
Definitely.
in the last,
That mentality is definitely
Yeah.
changing.
because I know so many people we've interviewed, so many people had guests on that. The college thing, that's what and we're gonna go conspiracy, but you're taught go to school, graduate, go to college, get your degree, get a job until you die. And it's not always that way. So, and college used to be for education, and my personal opinion is not so much for education, it's for financial means. and it's not
It
for
is.
students. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So-
Honestly, I probably, if I didn't play football, I probably would have never gone to college.
Right.
All like guarantee, like if I didn't play football, the only reason I played football and went to college is because of football.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was lucky enough and blessed enough to do that.
So let's talk more about that.
Football.
The football.
Yeah,
We've hit your career, what you're doing now, but we want to touch on because you had a passion, you and your brother had passion for football. And I know that's how I met you years
Yep.
ago. And you played for Las Vegas College. What,
yeah. UNLV.
thank you. That's what I was going for. Come on,
I got
BJ,
you, buddy.
Work with me. Work with me. So how you were how long were you there?
So I was there for 3 years.
Okay. What position?
I played defensive end.
Did you like that position?
I did a lot. Who wouldn't like hitting quarterbacks and running backs?
That's
all
yeah.
day?
Just clarifying this. I'm just and then so then after that you went. What was your transition? Because what I remember our conversations, you ended up. Obviously, most guys want to try to go to the NFL, but some things
Yeah.
don't work out. Did you after that? Is that when you went overseas?
Yeah, so right out of college in 2012, I wanted to go play in the NFL. That didn't work out.
Yeah.
So I ended up going to Germany.
Yeah.
And I played in Berlin back in 2012. I got a phone call and they're like, "Hey, you want to come out to Germany?" I was like, "Never been. Why not?" And it was funny because I flew out that very next week.
Wow.
I flew out to Berlin, Germany, and this team called Berlin Adler. So Berlin Eagles. Adler's just Eagles.
Okay.
I came out there and it was like the day before my birthday. I got out to Berlin. I'll never forget. I flew in. I was so tired and jet lag, and I was like, "Oh man!" And it was a Friday night. I got in, and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna go lay down." And then I woke up, and they're like, "Oh, we got a football game tomorrow. You ready to play?" And I'm like, "Wait, what?" And they're like, "Yeah, we got a football game." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And so we took a bus ride to Dusseldorf, Germany, and that was about 6 hours.
Wow.
Oh, and it was the day on my birthday, and I just barely met these guys.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Hey guys," and they're like, I'm all talking to the guys, and I got to learn about them and
Yeah,
got
6 hours worth
read
of
the
drive.
playbook while I was on the bus and driving out to Dusseldorf.
Wow.
And I came out there and I had a great game. I ended up I had like 6 tackles for loss and 4 sacks. And
Wow, that's a good game.
yeah. But I was so tired. I was dead to the world. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
You think?
So are the rules in that a lot different in Germany
So-
than they are here? Or?
No, actually the rules in Germany are the same as college football.
No, that makes
Oh,
it
okay.
easy, huh?
Yeah. So they made it easy. So it was just the rules in Germany are the same rules of college football.
Nice.
Yeah. So it wasn't like NFL Europe, but it was just club teams out there. So there's
Yeah.
about 93 teams out in
Wow.
Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a lot.
I remember
not,
talking.
like-
I remember you sharing that with me when shortly after we met years ago, and that I was blown away because I didn't know all this stuff. So I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
there's about 93 teams out in Europe and different divisions like Division 1, Division 2,
Sure.
Division 3, and a couple other ones. But yeah, that was the main thing. Yeah, it was a lot of fun and I played in Division 1, the top division, the German football league.
Right.
Yeah, so
Anybody from there you still stay in contact with?
yeah, actually I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually a couple of my guys, a couple of my buddies I still talk to. I try to get out to Germany at least once a year.
Nice.
I didn't get to these last couple of years
Yes.
because of COVID.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
I try to go out there and I meet up with all of them, and
Wow.
it's always a good time.
I
Like
bet.
nothing changed.
Awesome.
So how many years were you there?
I was there for 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you came back to the station, played in arena, and did the shock for it, but you did LA Kiss, which was AFL, which
Yep.
is owned by Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons of Kiss, the rock band.
Yep.
And I remember, did I see, because I went to an LA Kiss game, and I don't know if your brother was there. I think your brother was there. You possibly, I don't remember. I just remember I did my thing.
Uh-huh.
And I just remember apparently Kiss was performing up in Seattle or Portland the same night that I went to the game down there, because I was told if they would have been there, they would have been coming to me because the way I was dressed for the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they were here, they would have been. And since Kiss actually, that's one reason I started playing rock and roll back in the day. That would have been cool, but I'm okay with it. It was fun. And I know you guys had fun with LA.
Oh yeah. It was an experience. Honestly, the best experience. Yes.
You've told me that's right. Now I'm remembering some of the stuff where you went to Gene's house or Paul's house, and
Yeah, we went to Gene Simmons' house.
yeah,
That was a good time. We all ate there and we hung
Yeah.
out.
yeah,
And like the whole team went over there, and Gene and Paul were talking, and we met Shannon Tweed. she was really cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Like real people, huh? Almost.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
All right.
Gene Simmons is a different guy, I'll tell you that. He's a way different guy.
Oh, it
That
has to
guy-
be.
Wild
Like,
man.
Yeah, I would
Everyone knows
imagine. Not in a bad way though. Just different.
No, and he doesn't even drink. That's
I
crazy
know
about
that
it.
we just touched upon that with a guest.
Yeah.
We only have we're almost done, BJ. How quick and easy were you?
Oh, that was really easy.
One big question. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up? Did you want to be a cowboy, an astronaut?
I
Or
wanted to be a police officer.
really?
Believe it or not, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And I tried to be a police officer when I got out of college,
Right.
and that didn't work out the way I wanted it to, but yeah.
It's funny. Well, Brian's older brother is just retired from the Spokane Police Force.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so we know people in high places, low places.
Yeah, I actually wanted to be a police officer at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brother became one, and I'm like, well, I'll go into fireman, be a fireman. And then, yeah, that didn't work. out either.
Why policeman?
I always
TV
thought
rating?
it was really cool,
Okay.
I
Nice.
always thought, I get to help people, save lives. I always wanted to, structure rules. And I was like, yeah, when I was a kid,
Yes. You telling me that just correlates to do with you're changing people's lives now, and you have structure. You got to have structure. You're the one instigating the strike. Wow. See how
Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it correlates together, it's fun
Yeah,
stuff.
it does. So we're almost done. Anything else you want to add to anybody to do with either your football career, anybody that would be watching or listening to the podcast to do with football and or what you're doing as a
I'll tell anybody, if you're going in the construction field, just make sure find what you want to do, figure it out. No one ever said that you have to do everything, like figure it out the first time coming out there, Some people want to be electricians. Some people are better at flooring. Some people are better at tiling.
Yep.
Some people are good at putting cabinets on and just touching up.
Yep.
It doesn't matter. Go for it all. Try it out. See what works best for you. What's your niche? Because one of the hardest things is trying to figure out what you're good at.
Yep.
And even with football, go ahead, try if you're young, try out every position you can and see which one you're better at, and talk to your coaches. Learn from your football coach, as well as if you're learning in construction, learn from your bosses. Like ask questions to get better. No matter, that's the one thing that I took from it. Football and construction, always ask questions to learn.
wow. That was good. Usually our guests don't know what how to do. That was good, BJ. You actually know what the hell. Did you give them the questions in advance?
Well,
You son of
No.
a. Oh, okay. Awesome. Well,
I
there you
think
go.
I've done a couple of interviews in my day.
Apparently, that's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you, BJ. Pleasure having you on the show. Anything else that you have for him, Mr. King?
No.
Wow, you had some good
No.
questions considering you're in the construction business.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, that one time.
That one.
Yeah. Well, I listen to this. If I end up moving out that way, I'm coming to you guys for a job.
All right.
You guys will have to help me out.
Well,
I'm trying to
Obviously, I
convince the
need
wife
a
to move to
superintendent
Spokane.
Because my jobs are all over the place, getting crazy, and no structure, no.
Don't worry, I can bring it all together. It's
Yeah, that's I
okay.
need you out here.
there you
I
go.
need someone.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Some of these guys.
Awesome.
Yeah. No.
Thank you, BJ. Appreciate you having on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. I
we'll
really
get you-
appreciate it.
We'll get you back on. We're starting to do update interviews with former guests to find out. So we always do. Thank you for watching, listening to Career Paths by Infonet. I'm your host, Victor Boudreau, with Mr. King and our guest today, Mr. BJ Bell. Please share, please like, please leave a comment. And remember, it's your life. Make it happen. Till next time, we'll see you guys. Take care.
Ashes to ashes.
Okay.
Take 24. La, 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 la.
Greenhouse.